Hey guys. This is Peter, the Warner Brothers Universal and Paramount fan 2002 here. This year, it's the 25th anniversary of Futurama, which on this day premiered on Fox. This is what I'm gonna do this review on this episode of my TV show review series. The show was premiered in 1999. This show was created by Matt Groening, which is the same dude who created The Simpsons and Disenchantment for Netflix. The show was originally aired on Fox, Comedy Central, and currently streaming on Hulu and Disney+. On to the characters. Number 1. Philip J. Fry. Philip J. Fry is a dim-witted man from the 20th century who gets frozen for 1,000 years, thawing out on New Year's Eve 2999. His character is largely an attempt by the show's creators to make the connection between the 20th century and the 31st century much easier for the viewers. Often, Fry is faced with differences in the future, which he then relates to things in his time. As a result, he frequently has to defend the actions of the 20th century. Although he is often depicted as stupid, Fry does occasionally come up with brilliant schemes to save the day, an ability which possibly comes from his intense love of Star Trek. Fry, rivaled only by the energy being of Melva, has the largest encyclopedic knowledge of Star Trek in the future. Another example of Fry's occasional brilliance was during the brain spawn attack on Earth. With the rest of the crew stupefied, Fry was able to save Earth by exploiting the brain spawn's weaknesses. Strangely enough, Fry's stupidity appears to be his greatest strength, as he the only known person in the universe who lacks a delta brainwave and therefore is immune to the brain spawn's stupefaction fields. Ken, a Niblonian, has noted he possesses a superior yet inferior mind. He lacks the delta brainwave because he is actually his own grandfather. Also because he lacks the delta brainwave, he is immune to telepathy. Fry is also usually quick to make very rash decisions, such as traveling back to the year 2000 or stowing away on Zap Brannigan's ship to leave the universe after being upset about Colleen. Despite being lazy, Fry's heart is in the right place, and when the situation calls for it, he will rise up to formulate a plan to save his friends. Though because of his lack of intelligence he rarely comes up with any good plans. Fry cares about his friends, and in spite of Bender's awful treatment of him at times, he is still willing to risk his life to save them, which Bender reciprocates. However, it shows that Fry enjoys Bender being mean to him, because when Bender has to leave the Planet Express crew for his own safety, Clamps takes his place and behaves in the same way Bender would towards Fry, and Fry just laughs and continues. Fry loves video games, and as such, he is usually shown to be very good at them, although not all games. He never actually managed to finish the final enemy on Space Invaders. He always had to get his brother Yancey to do it for him. Though he may not be good at all games, his skills have made him a crack shot, and he usually mans the ship's weapons when they are under attack. He has also got a lot better at fighting. By fun on a bun also, Fry absolutely loves sewers. He once surfed, was surprisingly good, in various sewers around Earth cities with Taranga Morris Bender, but got temporarily sick as a result. In Simpsons/Futurama, Crossover Crisis, Fry taught Lisa Simpson how to play the holophone. Number 2. Taranga Leela. During her youth, Leela was often teased because she only had one eye. She felt very lonely in her childhood after being abandoned by her parents at an orphanarium, and always dreamed of learning who her real parents were. She eventually learns that she is a mutant, rather than an alien, which she had always thought she was. Leela has been shown to care a great deal about her mutant parents, even stealing a priceless quantum gem rolled from a museum along with Bender and Fry, when the zookeeper threatens to feed them to piranhas. Despite her troubled past, Leela is friendly, smart and self-reliant, though she is sometimes impatient and quick to anger. She cares deeply for her friends and loved ones, plus issues she feels she must stand up for, like freedom, the environment and cute animals. However, she does not hesitate to use force if she believes the situation demands it. She also has a liking for violence and was often sarcastic, but she nevertheless seems to have developed strong maternal instincts at times. She is engaged in a constant low-intensity feud with Amy Wong, the only other female at Planet Express, who more or less frequently accuses her of not being ladylike enough to be a true woman, despite Leela having a strong sensitivity for cuteness and romantic issues. Number 3. Bender Bending Rodriguez. At the start of series, Bender seemed to be nothing more than a mindless machine bound to his programming. However, he did show his patent brand rudeness and womanizing ways. He also couldn't bend ceiling bars to escape from the police with Fry despite actually being a bending unit. He was given his own personality when his antenna was struck by a light bulb, surging electricity throughout his body. After this, he became the Bender we all know throughout the series: self-absorbed, selfish, insensitive and egotistical, or in better terms as said by Leela, and alcoholic, whoremongering, chain-smoking gambler. Also, despite being the chef of Planet Express, Bender has little knowledge of human anatomy and biology, thinking they are just as durable as robots and they can survive the same pain a robot can. Because of this, Bender's cooking tends to be actually lethal to whoever eats it. He can also be truly hateful towards humanity, or as he describes them, meatbags, presumably because robots are treated as nothing more than automatic, disposable pawns for humanity to use. Once he even led the Devil's Army to actually kill all humans. However, before he could do so, they were taken to heaven with a vote. He never takes any responsibility for his heinous actions or crimes as to not bruise his massive ego. He actually blamed his friends for the death of Fry when it was actually he who was assigned the order and pulled the trigger. He simply defends this by saying it's a testament of how great I am. However, Bender does show genuine compassion and actual attachment to some humans. Fry is actually his best friend, and it's revealed whenever he said kill all humans he would silently mutter except one, which was Fry. He was also clearly hurt when he was asked to move out of the two's apartment as his antenna was disrupting their TV, and actually shed a tear when he discovered that Fry was planning to propose to Leela, claiming my little meatbags growing up. A brainwashed Bender was also clearly emotionally shook when he had killed his best friend in the past, so much that it tripped him from the control of the scammers. He also became very emotionally attached to a group of orphans he adopted for an original personal gain, even though he did treat them with neglect. Bender tends to be ass-oriented, one of his catchphrases being "bite my shiny metal ass." He also deemed it his most important body part after he was both-jacked, and later embraced his metal posterior, or SE as he likes to call it, when he returned to its original owner. Bender is a kleptomaniac and addict to many vices. He has burgled, pickpocketed and shamelessly vandalized without any consent of his crimes. However, as blank as they may be, Bender does have some moral lines. He was obviously distraught over the fact he was cursed to be a worker and was murdering innocent people. His thefts range from the wallet to body parts and the actual head of Al Gore because of their ongoing rival. Bender is a robot of vices. As well, he deems it important to be cool, and this is the reason of his constant smoking. His drinking cannot really be considered a vice, as without alcohol he would shut down. He also enjoys gambling, whoring and prostitutes, bluesies, and on one episode became addicted to electricity. Despite his intense narcissism, Bender is highly suicidal, to the point where it became an annual field. In his first appearance, he met with Fry on his way to a suicide booth. He also tends to attempt suicide whenever he's depressed, inadequate, or simply out of spite. It's revealed he had a relationships with a booth who actually killed him out of murder when the relationship failed. One of his traits is his money-grubbing nature and incredible stinginess, to the point where he actually tied a string around a 50-cent coin. Whenever he put it in a slot, he would simply fling it back to him. He normally invents massively complicated schemes which causes massive problems for his friends. However, he shows no remorse over his crimes. He engages in enterprises with Leela and normally acts as her manager. Examples include when she became a star baseball player and began acting as her agent as well to call profit when it was discovered that Leela's hit cartoon was based off a living species of alien. Bender has also stolen blood and on one occasion a kidney from Ferry. Despite being the selfish, autonomous egomaniac he is, Bender displays remarkable selflessness and strength of character at times. He actually does show concern about human life, despite one of his catchphrases be death to humanity. He discovered a bomb with his body as to protect his teammates when he joined the army, was actually very concerned over him keep transforming into a worker in the belief he actually might kill his best friend. cut off his own antenna so he could keep living with Fry in a deluxe apartment, saved Flexo, his rival, from death and caused himself incredible physical stress so he could make his robot girlfriend happy, and helped his son, Ben, when he was depressed that he couldn't be a bending unit by replacing his memory center despite the fact he enjoyed spending time with his illegitimate son. He also showed concern when he accidentally broke Leela's hearing with a horn attack to his face. He is also a high believer of robot rights and was disgusted when Fry saved a human life instead of robot, and later said that human life was more important than robot. However, his idea of robot equal rights was him killing all humans, and was very disgusted when he discovered the League of Robots had not killed a human for decades. Ironically, Bender can give equally cruel treatment to his own kind as humans do. He shot off Calculon's arm during a duel for control over the League of Robots, has been extremely abusive towards a crippled orphan robot boy. On one episode he stole back his leg after he was bojacked despite him finally earning the necessary component to walk. He later stole the board orphan robot boy used for transportation, and once decapitated Boxy. However, this was an accident. Number 4. Professor Farnsworth. Farnsworth is extremely intelligent, but also insane. He often wishes to build doomsday devices, nuclear-powered supermen, or seemingly useless devices. He is the great-great-great, etc. nephew of Philip J. Fry. He once worked for Mom's friendly robot company, but quit after Mom wanted to turn a friendly toy robot into a killing machine. He teaches at Mars U, and now owns Planet Express. Farnsworth usually sends his crew on dangerous, suicidal missions, and appears to be very senile, as he often asks what's going on, or falls asleep easily. He also contradicts himself on a normal basis. He does not appear to be concerned with the safety of his crew, as he once sent them on a mission, and hired a new crew before they even returned. Surprised at their return. At Farnsworth's 150th birthday, it was revealed that he was really 160. At the age of 160, people are taken to the near-Death Star by the Sunset Squad robots. They travel in a hover hearse, and the messenger appears to be the Grim Reaper. At the gates, there are 2 robots that guard entrance. After passing that, people are then declothed, washed, put in robes, placed in a rocking chair, and taken into a huge room. The buildings in the room appear to be giant headstones, separated by streets. Farnsworth was placed in a drawer, much like in a mausoleum. He was hooked up to a life support system, where he was in a virtual world, much like southern Florida. All the old people live in a nursing home-style building where they play bingo, eat oatmeal, and wait for their children to call. Number 5. Amy Wong. On the show, Amy is known for being a shallow, kind and ditzy girl. When Dr. Zoidberg had lost his mind due to hormones and was forced to be tied up, she was fooled multiple times into untying him, despite the dangers. As she said herself, "Fool me 7 times, shame on you. Fool me 8 or more times, shame on me." She uses Martian slang, which is simply American slang with altered consonants, such as duh, Oshman, man. She also shouts things in Chinese when angry or surprised. Amy tends to wear rather provocative outfits. The standard outfit is a midriff bearing pink sweatshirt and matching sweatpants. Anything that reveals a belly button. She confesses to Fry that she dresses that way to rebel against her parents in the movie Into the Wild Green Yonder. She tells her father that she wears the sweatsuit because she knew he always wanted a son. There is also a half rivalry with Leela about their looks and love lives, with Amy always ready with a put down. When angered, Amy occasionally starts cursing in poorly spoken Cantonese, Amazon's women in the mood, such as Aya, Diason, which roughly translates to "Oh my god, I'll beat you to death." She has also been known to sing in Cantonese, though the exact lyrics have yet to be translated. According to her, because of her supreme cuteness, Amy had cuteness reduction surgery on her cheek and nose when she was a teenager. Amy has dated many men, and she expresses a sexually adventurous attitude. In Bender's game she portrayed bisexual characteristics. In Proposition Infinity, she had a robosexual relationship with Bender. She also has a thing for bad boys. She dated Fry for a time in Put Your Head on My Shoulders, but the relationship was brief. However, during their relationship, he was involved in an accident, which caused her to have his head grafted onto a shoulder to save his life. She still carries a disfiguring scar from the incident. She has been dating Keith Croker since 2001. Although she is not ready for total commitment, Amy is sure that one day she will be. In Keith Gets Knocked Up a Notch, she became the smizmer of Keith's children. That is, she inspired the feelings of love that caused Keith to be receptive to procreation. Although Leela is the biological mother because she grabbed Keith's ungloved hand to keep him from being sucked out of his spaceship, not knowing that, in his receptive state, this would impregnate him. Some of the children even have only one eye like Leela. The smizmer is considered to be the true mother in Keith's culture. Amy has several tattoos which do not appear to occur between episodes. One obscene tattoo, which appears blurred because its design requires a resolution unmatched by modern TVs, was shown to be on her upper left arm in A Fishful of Dollars and in 300 Big Boys. She buys a talking tattoo of a devil, which resembles the trademark of hot rod artist Coop, on her right arm. In the same episode, 3 other tattoos are implied to be on her bottom, one of which is a horse of some kind. The other 2 are the voices of a man and a woman. However, in Proposition Infinity she claims to have a tattoo of her mother on her bottom and shows it to an inmate. None of these are ever seen or mentioned in any episode other than the ones they are first shown in, despite numerous occasions in which their locations are visible, apparently lacking said tattoos. Presumably attributable to continuity errors, these lapses could, in theory, imply that, in the 31st century, tattoo application and removal is exceptionally easy, and Amy simply changes her tattoo's appearances and locations a twin. Okay, I think that's enough talking about it. Otherwise I would not have enough time. On to the verdict. 10 out of 10. Perfect show. And this concludes this review.